What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including John Cena stopping a wrestler from becoming champion, Shaq coming to AEW, John Cena reaches out to Nikki Bella, The Undertaker wants a proper match, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into the first story. Our first story looks at John Cena stopping a wrestler from becoming WWE champion. Our fans have heard the stories of Hulk Hogan saying, "I don't think so, brother," and the golden shovel Triple H used to bury potential rivals, and now fans are hearing stories about another WWF superstar using political gamesmanship to do things their own way. During an appearance on the Talk is Jericho podcast, Jack Hager, who wrestled in the WWE as Jack Swagger, remembered the time he was supposed to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase on champion John Cena. The night before, I teased it on Raw where I would almost hit Cena with a briefcase. I snuck up on him, and then we had one of his brilliant promo segments. Later come find out he refused to do the job for me for the World Championship, but we won't talk about that. Swagger would eventually cash in the briefcase, defeating Chris Jericho for the World Heavyweight Championship. But during the podcast, Jake thanked Jericho for acting as a coach and a mentor at the time, telling him, "You better not F this up." He also reflected on his 79-day reign as champ. "I know looking back, I needed to do a lot more as champion. It's one of those things where it was a learning curve. Everyone kinda sees that championship run as short, but to me, I look at it as one of those things. It's like, my name is on the list with some greatest of the greatest, so you're not gonna take that away from me." 16-time world champion John Cena's name has come up more than once when it comes to younger wrestlers getting their pushes stopped, including Alex Riley. Next up is Shaq coming to AEW. Shaquille O'Neal's love for professional wrestling is well known, and Shaq has made appearances for WCW and WWE, even competing at the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania 32. Now it looks like he might be wrestling in AEW. During last night's Dynamite, new wrestler Jade Cargill interrupted Cody Rhodes during a promo. She mocked Cody and said that since he fancies himself as a giant killer, she has someone who is a real-life giant, Shaq. Brandy Rhodes then came out and then berated her to the ground, adding tension to the segment and leading to fans wondering what's next. Now there were rumors of Shaq appearing in AEW, especially since Shaq is aligned with the TNT network. As noted by WrestleTalk's Louis Dangoor, Shaq was seen at AEW's recent pay-per-view Full Gear. The NBA legend has also talked about wanting to face Cody in the ring, so this should come as no surprise, especially since Shaq's long-rumored match with The Big Show never happened, and Shaq blamed the WWE for failing to make it happen in a timely fashion, although the WWE argues that Shaq was never in shape. Now, there is speculation that Shaq could face Cody one-on-one or even in a team with Jade to battle Cody and Brandy. Would you guys like to see this match happen? Would you like to see Shaq wrestle in AEW? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, John Cena contacted Nikki Bella. Now, John Cena and Nikki Bella's relationship ended after he proposed, but the two remain friends, as seen by Cena reaching out to Nikki and sister Brie after they both gave birth. Speaking with US Weekly, Nikki revealed, "So with the baby, he reached out to Brie and I both. We haven't had an individual conversation in, gosh, I don't know how long, but it was very short and sweet." As noted in our previous news video, there are strong rumors of the Bella twins returning to compete for the Women's Tag Team Championship. Next up, the time WWE punished a couple for getting married. It's difficult to imagine getting married and having your boss punish you for it, but that's exactly what Miro is claiming happened to himself and his wife Lana when they got hitched. Speaking with Chris Jericho on the Talk is Jericho podcast, Miro explained, "Somebody leaks out photos of their wedding and they blame her. They blame me. I do jobs for 6 months. Our story gets cancelled that night. We were in Chicago. I remember it because I was supposed to win the IC title. I was supposed to get married with Summer. They nixed it that night, and when I talked to Vince, he's like, well, TMZ is like CNN. It's world news. Everybody knows it's true. Everybody will go against it. So CJ did nothing for a long time, and I was doing jobs forever." Now you may recall the WWE was running a storyline where Rusev and Lana had split, with Rusev joining Summer Rae and Lana joining Dolph Ziggler. Apparently Vince felt audiences wouldn't buy into the storyline of the fictional couple once it became known Rusev and Lana were a real-life couple behind the scenes. Although there are two ways to do things in the WWE, the Vince McMahon way and the wrong way. Unfortunately for superstars, the Vince McMahon way is often batshit crazy and impossible to understand until Vince punishes them for doing something that makes sense in the real world. Lana and Miro's story is just another reminder of how there is little logic in the WWE, whether it's backstage or on air. Next up, The Undertaker wants a real match and doesn't want another cinematic one. The Undertaker's Boneyard match against AJ Styles at WrestleMania 36 was a smash success as fans enjoyed the cinematic match's excitement and action. Many fans saw it as the perfect send-off for the Phenom, but as most fans know, retirement is often contemporary in wrestling and The Undertaker has said he'll come back if needed. But with that being said, he noted that he's not interested in doing a cinematic match if they ask him to return. Speaking with the New York Post, The Undertaker revealed, "It really doesn't appeal to me because basically what it is working around my limitations. It's capitalizing on some of my ability and some of my creative ability to tell a story, but basically it's trying to mask some of the lack of my physical abilities at this point." The Undertaker also pointed out he's physically spent. "I realized I've taken every physical gift tool that I have and I've used it up. There's no water left in the sponge. If I can use that analogy, I've wrung everything I could get out of that sponge." If The Undertaker is as physically spent as he claims, a cinematic match may be his only option to avoid the embarrassment of what happened when he wrestled Goldberg at 2019 Super Showdown event. The only option would be having The Undertaker wrestle in a tag team match or multi-wrestler match such as a triple threat match, or even possibly return at the Royal Rumble. Speaking of The Undertaker, the WWE have done another tribute to him with various superstars dressing up as the various incarnations of the Phenom over his 30-year career. Our personal favourite is probably Shinsuke dressing up as Classic Undertaker, Jeff Hardy also as Classic Taker, and Sasha Banks as Zombie MMA Fighter Taker. Which one was your favourite? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up is AEW's third hour coming soon. AEW has been talking about a third hour of content ever since Warner Media extended the promotion's contract of 5 years. However, fans have yet to see the additional content. As AEW's roster continues growing, there's no question it's needed. Speaking with TSN, Khan explained, "It's going to launch in 2021. We've worked it out with TNT. It's 100% going to launch in 2021. I don't have the exact date yet, but I would look out for it soon, and it's right around the corner." Given the circumstances of 2020, it's understandable why things have been delayed, but AEW should launch the show and capitalize on AEW's popularity and the public's demand for new content. And finally, The Rock is producing a new Scorpion King film. Last but not least, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has announced he's looking to relaunch the Scorpion King franchise with Universal Pictures and Johnson's Seven Bucks production company. While The Rock won't be able to star in the film due to his hectic acting schedule, there's always the possibility of a cameo or other role. He noted, "The Scorpion King was my very first role ever on the silver screen, and I'm honored and excited to reimagine and deliver this cool mythology to a whole new generation. I wouldn't have had the career I'm lucky enough to have had it not been for the Scorpion King, and I'm thrilled that we at Seven Bucks Production can help create those same opportunities for other hard-working actors today. I believe Jonathan Herman will put in the hard work to deliver a fantastic script for our global audience." It's still amazing how Johnson turned a role in The Mummy into one of Hollywood's biggest success stories. But there you have it guys, the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Facebook for exclusive lists, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.